Hare Krishna devotees, welcome you to the morning chanting and the hearing session. Start with the prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshur-unmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatesha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So last week we were hearing from his praise of Radha Krishna Prabhu on the Vaishnava etiquette, where he was speaking on patience, tolerance and forbearance, and with few examples that Prabhuji was giving us, right? And today we will continue on the same. So let me share my screen.
In this particular one, we are looking at Bali Maharaj, who's been wrapped up, and Lord Vamanadev actually is speaking in this particular section, 8th canto, chapter 22. You can look up the verses. So Vamanadev is saying, although bereft of his riches, fallen from his original position, defeated and arrested by his enemies, rebuked and deserted by his relatives and friends, although suffering the pain of being bound, and although rebuked and cursed by his spiritual master, Bali Maharaj, being fixed in his vow, did not give up his truthfulness. It was certainly with pretension that I spoke about religious principles, but he did not give up religious principles, for he is true to his word. So this was a test by the Lord on Bali Maharaj, and we can see that the Lord is very pleased with him because he passed the test. And this is further proof of the Lord's mercy towards his devotees. What does it mean? It means sometimes the Lord will put us in severe tests also. So we have to be tolerant, patient, and forbear. Huh? Now you may think, how do I know this is a test of the Lord? Right? So then you have to consult with senior devotees, yeah? And ask them, I'm going through this, it's been going on for some time, what to do? Yeah. And then they'll say, all right, let's see, continue. And then if it's going for a long time, then maybe they will try to figure out what the true cause of the problem is. It could be sometimes we may have to go through, and therefore then you have to just bear with it. Maybe our karma catches up and you can't do anything about it, right? If you know your Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter, our body is the result of the past karma, right? So just because we become devotee doesn't mean we change body immediately. So whatever the body is, we are stuck with it. So that's it. So you can't do much about it. So you can't go to your spiritual master and say, I have this body, what to do? Chant Hare Krishna. Continue. Simple, actually, yeah. So what Bali Maharaj went through is very severe, extremely severe. So Prabhupada says sometimes the Lord will put us through very severe tests and it's unbearable. It'll be so unbearable. And I mentioned yesterday, some devotees, when they can't take it, they may abandon the whole practice. So we have to be very observant in our lives, what situation we go through. We can't keep quiet about it, because intellectually you can use your intelligence to say, okay, this is the reason, but emotionally you may not be able to handle it. And so you need guidance, you need a lot of support to go through sometimes difficulties. So we see here, he endured so many tests, and he accepted that. Never did he say, this is not proper, I'll go against it. Never once does he say that. So therefore, Prabhupada explains, in the purport, Prabhupada says that the Supreme Lord actually appreciates the devotee's forbearance. So the Lord tests you, make you suffer, then he says, good on you. You're doing good. Why? Because we have faith that the Lord will protect us. Yeah, He's our maintainer, We have to have that understanding and faith also. It's a test of faith always. Every day is a test of your faith. Yeah, so the Lord becomes very pleased when you go through difficult situations without giving up hope on Him. So we have to cultivate that kind of faith with the Lord. It's not just book knowledge, we have to actually practice those things. Every day is a test, as I mentioned earlier. You'll see that different types of problems will come in your life. Now, if you avoid the problem thinking it'll go away, it may go away, but it'll come back again some other time. Have you noticed that? And when you face the problem, then the problem will then go away properly. Sometimes you will avoid a problem for many years. It always keeps coming back. And then when you are ready to face it, the problem goes away. Then you're like, what? Because the Lord is testing us sometimes. He's saying, are you willing to surrender? Yeah. Why is He testing? Because He's building strength in us. The whole idea is to build strength. So that we can go through this material existence. This material world is very ruthless, very harsh place. And we cannot think it's oh nice and cozy, You go out there now, you walk outside. This is reality actually. I wonder why people even move to such places. What to speak of this place, Canada, and sometimes it's interesting. All right, so this is Bali Maharaj. It's a good example. The next personality is, everybody knows, it's Lord Jesus. And Srila Prabhupada spoke this in New York in 1966. Who's a saint? And then he defines a saint. A saint is tolerant, very tolerant, tolerant to the utmost. So sometimes we want to help people, we want to represent Srila Prabhupada, and we must also be tolerant like Srila Prabhupada. So much he went through, right? So we should at least be tolerant. Srila Prabhupada was tolerant to the utmost. We should at least tolerate some inconveniences in our life. So Prabhupada says, you have got a very good example in Lord Jesus Christ, a great saint or sadhu. Of course, he was more than a sadhu. Now just see his behavior, how much tolerant he was. He was being crucified and he was praying to God, oh Lord, forgive these people for what they are doing. This is the significance of sadhu. Titikshava karunikaha. which I mentioned this verse yesterday also, because that particular verse is very significant. For other people's sake, the sadhus, they are always very tolerant and they are very kind to all people. Why are they tolerant and kind? Because the whole goal is to raise the consciousness of the individuals you're meeting to a higher level. So therefore sometimes they are new, they are ignorant, they don't know, Sometimes you see people eat with left hand, right hand, even any hand they want to use. Pass from left to right, right to right. Of course it's not a major problem, but still, we may tell them it's not good because it's not so auspicious, so eat with your right hand, and then it's a difficult thing for them. All their life it was the left hand, now you're denying that. So they have to give up some things. So you'll see them again doing it, and then you shouldn't get disturbed. Mostly it is our example that creates an opportunity to help another person. Meaning, if you do it nicely, they become very happy to see that this person is so nice. He or she is doing so many wonderful things. And so they will become close to you because they want that kind of relationship. They want to have a relationship with a nice person. And it's normal. It's very common, right? We pick and choose people. So if we show that kind of qualities, naturally people will be attracted. And so even if they have bad qualities, because they see you doing properly, they will imitate you. Right? Like little kids or child in your home, the father will wear his shoes, the child will sit next to the father and also imitate, like that. Right? You see little children play mummy and daddy things, and so, yeah. So this is how Lord Jesus Christ was, very tolerant, kind to all the people, all living entities, very kind. Prabhupada emphasizes so many times. In spite of all their disadvantages, they try to give something, real knowledge to the people in general, karunika. Yeah. Right? Sometimes you teach mathematics to some students, especially calculus. A lot of kids find it hard in high school and so on. But through practice, they become good at it. Yeah. So the same way, we should be tolerant because we want to help people. Prabhupada says, only a devotee can tolerate. And this is in verse 70 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever been filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. As long as we have this material body, there's a lot of demands. That's the nature of this material body. A lot of demands of the body. The body wants sense gratification. The mind also wants to enjoy those senses, and the senses also want to enjoy themselves. But a devotee is not disturbed by the senses or such desires because he is full in his Krishna consciousness, full in his service attitude. You will find over the years that when you look back at your life, you'll see you've given up so much and you never thought about it. And so therefore you should reflect, I've given up, but where was I before I first came? And therefore, through that same way, we should treat newcomers. Yeah, they are now there. I'm here 40 years, right? Still struggling. So then you can say, what's wrong if they are struggling when they are new? So we have to develop that compassion, that attitude. No? Because Krishna is the maintainer, He is the supplier of everyone. Whatever we need, actually is Krishna supplying through our karma, right? According portions, everybody gets what they deserve. Therefore, when we understand that the Lord can supply anything, the Lord doesn't actually therefore need anything from us. Similarly, a devotee, because he has Krishna, he actually doesn't need anything. Because Krishna can give him anything he needs. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked something about, like whether he can read the mind of a disciple or not. I'm paraphrasing. So then Prabhupada replied, my Guru Maharaj mentioned this. So Prabhupada replied, well, not like that. That if I need to know, Krishna will tell me. Or Krishna will reveal it to me. Sometimes a disciple may be doing nonsense thinking the Guru won't know, but somehow it will come to the Guru's attention. Through your behavior, through how you speak, through your action, someone will tell the spiritual man, this guy has problems. And the Guru will know he's not following properly. But once you are properly situated, there was another incident also. They were asking about Prabhupada, about sex desire. Prabhupada said, well, I get it also, but I don't pay attention. So devotee means desires will come like waves of water comes. Waves of waters and river, it just flows in. But he is not disturbed because he has no desire for it. He has a higher taste. Higher taste, yeah. Now I'm putting up this personality because we all think we can tolerate something, but actually he is the one who tolerates the most, the Paramatma. Yeah. Because he's in all our bodies, every creature, every element in the universe, and he has to tolerate. How much does he tolerate? How much is worried, right? This person is abusing the body, that one is doing some nonsense, committing suicide, so many nonsense going on, and the Lord is peacefully observing. He tolerates unlimitedly. And then what? The Mayavadi is abusing him somehow. He still tolerates in their body. Atheist, there's no God and he's in the heart, listening, oh my God. Right? So we think we tolerate a lot, but actually the Lord tolerates far more than all of us. Alright, some quick tips for cultivating tolerance. Accepting that people are different and looking for the positive in them helps us build an attitude of tolerance. These are simple things that you can, you can type it out, paste it on your refrigerator door or somewhere, and then every time you look, when you meet people you don't like, then you look at this verse. The whole thing is you have to change the way you see things. If you see materially, then you're going to be in trouble. You have to see, I'm a spiritual person, this is a spiritual person stuck in a material problem. And if I'm also going to come from the material level, then we're never going to solve the issue. Rather, I should see it from a spiritual point of view, then I'll feel compassion for the other person. Because the person is in ignorance, right? Then you have to feel compassionate. That's why they're acting in unfavorable way. So how to help them? You see they are positive and encourage them. Yeah, that's okay. They will say, I can't chant. That's okay. The fact that you're trying is great. Wonderful. I can't do 16. Well, how many can you do? 1. Okay, do that. We'll talk in a few weeks. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. Okay, increase. Yeah, right? We have to encourage people. Nowadays it's so much difficult than maybe 50 years ago. Right? 50 years ago, people were looking for spiritual life. A lot more than now, no? Now they all have so much sense enjoyment everywhere. As I mentioned, Okay, so the other one is the golden rule. Treat others how you would like to be treated. Right? Do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. And the last one, one's true perfection lies in their ability to know and accept their personal imperfections. Reflection. Don't forget that anything is possible and you can achieve it. Right? You should know your own shortcomings. You should know it's good for all of us, then we can act on it. Knowing your shortcomings means you own your problem. And then you're open to suggestions for improvement. Vaishnavas means we are open for good instruction so that I can become a better devotee. So we act on that platform. All right, so finally we are coming to what I mentioned on the first day, how to correct others.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Any questions or realizations of Prabhuji or Mataji? Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, you.
Audible, Mataji.
Okay. It was pin drop silence. um, um, how Prabhu was explaining that we have to be tolerant for others. I mean, we are trying for so long, and at least I'm not trying for very long. But whatever I'm trying, I feel I'm doing for very long, and I have done so much. But still, if I see myself in the mirror, I find doing too many mistakes. And if I try to pick up my wrongdoings, there are too many. So those who haven't even started, or those who haven't even paid attention towards it, definitely it seems that they are doing more mistakes, or their things are, but we have to be tolerant. We have to keep ourselves in their place and see that if when we were there, probably we were doing even more than them. So that was something very good. Not to see others in the negative light. That was something I wanted to share. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. This Mataji, adding to what you said, correction in the mirror, right? Actually, I was attending, one of my daughter was attending the class of vocal, Mataji. So, her teacher said that, singers sing in so many ways, but as a theory says that, we make, there's so many mistakes that actually a singer does, right? So when we have to correct ourselves, we have to always, he was talking from the singing perspective. He was saying that you have to go in front of the mirror and see what kind of faces you're making, because we try to find out mistakes in others, that that person is singing, making that, giving that particular expression. But when you want to correct yourself, stand in front of the mirror, and then you practice, then you will become perfect, right? So thank you so much, Mataji, for that. Subhiti Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So I had one small question regarding that Bhagavad Gita shloka, that incessant flow of desire, so we have to tolerate. So generally, okay, one answer is we have to develop higher taste. But means, is there any intermediate stage or some practical tips that we can follow? Because higher taste, okay, uh, instead of eating some junk outside, we eat prasadam, so that is higher taste. But in other activities also, any practical tips that we can develop before going to that stage?
Thank you, Prabhu, for the question. Mataji's and Prabhuji's, anyone would like to address this question? Kumarika Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Actually, I feel that we are definitely, we are all human beings having a mind and our senses. But if we give in to our senses, if we succumb to our senses, then it becomes all the more difficult to come up from that level. Because putting something into the fuel into the fire only makes the fire grow stronger. Dushpura analenacha. That is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So once you give in to your fire-like senses, then it glows all the more. Then it will ask for more. So if you can only detach yourself a little bit and think that it is my mind which is anchoring for it, my mind and body. But this is not good for me. So that sort of self-talk, talking to your mind. Hey, mind, listen to me. Just like when we went through the Mana Siksha by Raghunath Das Goswami. Please, my mind, you cooperate with me like that. So if we can control our mind, then that is the greatest thing that we can achieve. So giving into our senses is not going to work. It is going to just one time. If we start just one time, then the taste becomes more for that sense gratification program. So better to keep a little bit away. That is what Krishna says. I do not know more than this, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. This Subhudev Prabhu,
Yeah.
is answered, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Also,
Like,
Prabhu,
okay, this
that
self-talk.
devotees get desired, right? Somebody asked Prabhupada that do you get desired? So Prabhupada was saying that I don't pay attention. Right? So that is what I understand from what Mataji also was speaking. So, but not to pay the attention when we get the desires, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
One more thing I would like to add. Prabhupada always said, I will not, you may succumb. Once he said to the disciples, you may succumb to desires, but I will not. But next day he was praying in front of the deities. And out of curiosity, the disciple asked, Prabhupada, what are you praying for? So I will not, I'm just praying, please protect me. I should not fall down. But yesterday you said that you will not fall down. That is why I will not fall down. I by myself is not very strong. But Krishna, I am praying every day to Krishna to protect me from Maya. And he is very strong. So I know that Krishna will protect me. So that sort of when we are not capable, if we can pray to the lordships, please protect me. That also works, as I remember from Prabhupada's section.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Shamkun Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I'll speak after Yugal Kishore. Let him speak.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna, Yugal Kishore Prabhu. You can.
Yes, Mataji. Just one more thought in this direction. His Holiness Ramapachar Maharaj always says that and there is a situation where a person is completely just like a small child and who is not walking, and there is just a child who is walking, who is perfect. So since we are less than perfect, so we are in between. So what is the in between stage that Prabhu was asking is that the child is trying to get up. he fumbles, he falls down, and again he gets up. So this is the in-between situation where the sadhaka, the practitioner like all of us here, that we practice. Sometimes there could be challenges, but the most important point is that we just don't get bogged down by that. We get up, come back to Krishna again, Krishna and Krishna's devotees. And that is far more important than just being in that situation where we just blame ourselves, criticize ourselves, diminish ourselves. So rather than getting up and saying that, oh, there was something challenge, but now I again come back to Krishna. And that's how the child starts walking. So he falls down then, but he gets up. So this is the in-between stage where we'll have challenge. As long as we have body, we'll have a challenge. Since Maharaj always said that we are less than perfect, we are imperfect, so we'll have challenge. But aspiration is to come to that position where we have overcome all these anarthas by bhakti and by the mercy of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Chandan Prabhu.
I have one question, not a question. Actually, I'm observing one problem in me. That the problem is regarding the tolerance. Whenever some like provoking situation comes, without thinking, I like reply in such a way, like like I behave not like in a proper way. Maybe for worldly and material situation it may be proper, but later I myself think that's not good. I should have behaved in another way. Yesterday also some situation came up. As soon as my mind like observe that the person is wrong, like my ego shoots up, and I behaved in a very improper way. So, but later I thought how I behave like that. I should not. I should be little bit tolerant. I should have understood the other person's perspective also, and then I should have behaved, or I should have replied. And this is the problem I'm facing. And but now I want to come out. I don't like. I'm not thinking like when this situation comes up. So nobody knows. So a great devotee like Maharaji and other Prabhus, how like all of a sudden some situation comes up, then there is no time of preparation. If you know that then I'm going there, this kind of situation may come, then I prepare my mind, and and maybe I will behave. But again, Sam Kun Prabhuji told that we should not behave, we should not lead a dual life. So what is the problem? Like whatever uh, in uncertain condition, what is my behavior? That is my real like property. So how to come out? I don't want to lead a like dual life also. Okay, let me prepare and we have very cool and calm, but from inner side I'm very violent or like that. So how to like develop that quality? I'm facing a lot of problem here. I need guidance, help.
Yeah, so any of the Matajis or Prabhujis can answer it. So, like, Shamkun Prabhu, do you like to please?
Well, Chandan Prabhu, the humility with which you said today, whatever you told today, that in itself is almost 90% of the problem solved, Prabhu. Actually, in fact, it is the blessing from the chanting of the holy name that has made you recognize it. 99.99% of the humans in this world cannot even recognize it. So
it's a great blessing that you have received to say that, oh yeah, I see that I do not have patience with others or uh, behaving in a particular way, which is not proper. Correct. That's that's it's almost 90%, or I would even say much higher. It's almost 90% of the problem solved. 95, 99%, something like that. It's very high. Or more than recognition, it is the urge in you that I want to do something. That's the problem solved. And along with it, you didn't mention it explicitly, but I guess it is there deep inside you, that the Supreme Lord wants, he equally likes all living entities. He sees all jivas as part and parcel. So that was the premise, although you didn't say it that way, but it was clearly apparent. And that understanding is also a fundamental portion of it. So we should look, one part of it, you can say, is that a sadhaka, like you, like me, all of us who are trying, we see like following what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, we compare to our own self and see how much we struggled and how much time it took us to do just one thing right. Try to find out that one thing which took you so much time. And then say, well, maybe for the other person, it is a different domain. I struggled in this domain. That person is struggling in that domain, the other domain. But how much time it took? Some of us, it takes 10, 20 years to figure it out. We keep doing the same mistakes. And then there's one day an aha moment. This is what it needs to be done. And even after knowing that, we still take another some 5 years or 10 years to actually put it into practice. So this fact that when Krishna gives us challenging circumstances in our life, it actually helps us to empathize with how much others are going through. That is when it becomes really deep for us, that I have struggled like this. He will also take some time. So it is at that moment when we recognize this that we say, we actually have that patience and say, let me see, how can I do something nice for him? Or maybe I have to just walk out from the situation. This is not the right time to react. That's one part of it. The second part of it is, why don't we have that patience in dealing with others? Like, I may just snap. The other person may be doing something wrong. Now, not every activity means that I just, like there's this Gandhi's, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi statement, you slap me on one cheek, I will slap you on another cheek. I mean, I'll show you my other cheek and you can slap me on the other cheek. Sorry. Like, everything need not be thought about that way. In some cases, you may have to give a strong reaction, but from a detached position, from a position of wanting their welfare. It may be required. So do not think that if you reacted strongly, it is wrong. It could be right, especially for those who have expressed their dependence on you. But it should be, the strong reaction should be after a lot of time, that affection, patient consideration, all of that has failed, then only that strong reaction has to come. But if until that point in time, if prior to that itself, if we get angry, then what does it mean? It means that deep within us, there is a frustration. So we need to look in our own lives. What is the cause for frustration? There is an anger in us. There is a sadness in us. What is making me angry? What is making me sad? The other person can be doing whatever it is, but why is it triggering me? Rather than thinking, how can I help this person? It's probably a problem for me. For example, just to give you an example, Chandan, sometimes I found that, like, say for my own self, even I too was, or maybe I am still in that same space where I got angry at some persons. And it took some time for me to figure out, hey, I got angry. And then with help from another devotee, I realized that um, I was angry that I am spending time for some people who do not value my time. And I have so many things to do. And I'm letting go of things that I like to do for them. And yet they don't value what I say, etc. So then I realized, okay, it's the problem here is they're probably, I feel that they're not valuing my time. They just don't take it. They're taking it for granted. Okay. So then it's for me to work upon my own self. Likewise, you may have something there to figure it out. So both in terms of number one, that all the life experiences Krishna has given helps us to understand that others are going through a different set of issues like me. And second is identify what is actually triggering us. What is the emotion and what is triggering us? It will help over a period of time. Does it help, Prabhu? Chandan Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Again, Prabhu, as you told that, when some provoking situation or something comes up, we should think like, I'm also having this issue, or I was also having this issue. So that I took time. That person also will take some time with, and we should be tolerant like that. But the situation is, any situation comes up, all of a sudden, like, mind shoots up, and there
Yeah,
is no the thinking process or nothing. Simply
yeah,
like the situation carried away. The mind
yeah,
is carried away under that situation, and after that the realization comes. So
yeah.
how to come up from this momentarily situation, तुरंत से
Usually,
ऐसा व्यवहार करके उसके बाद फिर से पछताना.
correct. Usually the preparation for this is done much earlier. Amongst many things, some things that I have learned are, number one, when we react immediately, most, not most likely, a good portion of the time, I wouldn't say 90% of the time, but a good portion of the time, we are also not chanting attentively. Or in other words, when the mind goes here and there during chanting, we don't bring it back to the holy name. And that is reflected that when a circumstance happens, we don't pause because we have not practiced it at all. Even while chanting, we are not practicing. It's just the tongue is going on autopilot mode. And therefore, when somebody comes and says something, we don't learn how to bring the mind back to Krishna. We don't bring it back to principles. That's point number one. Number two is when when the food that we eat is not cooked in good consciousness, when it is done in a hurry, and for namesake, you just go and keep it in front of a deity and say, okay, you please eat it. So that poor consciousness of prasadam does impact us in our reactions. That's number two. Number three is a much more stronger thing, which most of us are much older in this group, which is very tough for us, but at least for youngsters, we have to do something, is culture. There are certain fundamental principles of culture that we have to learn. And we should know that these aspects of culture I should not violate. For example, uh, when somebody points out to me, hey, you did this wrong, first and foremost thing, do not come back and say, you also did that wrong like that, right? What were you doing that day? What were you doing the other day? The tendency to retort, to give back, is something that we have to avoid. Uh, there are some things like telling truth, etc. So there are various cultural things which is actually given in the Dharma Smriti, and I believe that we should compile it and put it in one place so that people go through it regularly. When you go through these regularly, and we see it in the people around us, then we know that, hey, I shouldn't do like this. So culture is important, japa is important, prasadam is important. But all of this is still, like, in one sense, controlling. when one is internally happy, one can tolerate other problems in life. And so the thing here is we have to figure out something by which we are happy. That is why it is told each of us should take some project which gives us fulfillment. Ideally, it is connected to devotional service. If not, also do something and figure out a way in which it can be connected to devotional service. Like, say, for example, somebody may like pottery, somebody may like dance. Do something that you like. Or, in other words, for a prolonged period of time, if a person does something that they are just meant to do as a duty, but they do not find some happiness, it manifests in lack of patience. So, like say, for example, somebody at a very young age, they might have lost their parents or something, or one parent or something. They, at a very young age, they have to start earning money, taking care of family life, etc. There is so much pressure in that person. So, throughout for the rest of their life, it's always like a fight. So what happens at a young age is when the moment the nervous system is used to thinking at the age of some 15, 20, 25, I have to fight, I have to show myself in good light. It continues for the rest of their lifetime. So when we are a little older, we have to recognize that, yes, I was in a war situation when I was young, but every day, every time, I am not in a war situation. So we have to consciously come out of that war situation. And that is where this whole process of Krishna consciousness is so natural that every time we try to bring the mind back to the holy name, it is saying, there are 101 things waiting for me. I have to take care of them. My nervous system is telling me that I have to fight them. It is okay. Now is my time for Krishna. And to be in the time with Krishna, to be there, it is important that we cherish something from scripture or something from hearing and use that to aid us to like Krishna. So this inner nourishment is very, very important too. And even when we try that, if we are not getting it, we have to understand that we have not served Vaishnava sufficiently. Because this service to Vaishnavas is the one which breaks the knots in the heart. So when you try all of this and nothing works, humbly go and serve without a need for recognition. Do something for a nice Vaishnava. And by their pleasure, Krishna gives us something. So the bottom line is, this challenge that you're saying is meant to make us nice devotees. It is not a challenge which we have to overcome, but it is a challenge to which we have to surrender our previous conceptions, our previous habits, and learn something new. Does it help?
Definitely, Prabhu. Whatever you told, I will try to follow that one, Prabhu. I will try to do chanting attentively, and whenever I will get some chance, I will serve Vaishnava. Hopefully, it will help me. But really, I'm struggling with this. Please, all of you, pray for me so that I can come out from this situation.
Yes, and along with Chandan Prabhu's request, I too would like to add my request to all the devotees to help me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shamkun Prabhu. And thanks, Chandan Tiwari, for the, sorry, Chandan Prabhu, for the question. Sorry, Prabhu. Yeah. Any other questions? We are already 7:19, so should we conclude this call? Okay.
Mataji, just one thought. Shankun Prabhu has given very detailed. In fact, going to the root cause to handle this situation, and very nicely summarized, given the how we actually address this problem. I have one thought which I heard from Shankun Prabhu and other devotees, especially those who are practicing this non-violence communication. One point probably may help, and which helped me to some extent, not all the time. To some extent, it helped me, but there is a lot things to work on. That one is that Chandan Prabhu is on about mind. So as soon as of course, we do not have time to think all those things in that situation. It's like when we are at actually peace, we sweat. But when we are actually on the war situation, we are peaceful because we already did a lot of homework. So, but still, one point which helped me to some extent is that accepting that okay, mind is angry, mind is upset here, mind is disappointed here. So this acceptance is a very good tool which actually helps us. And the reason for that is that as soon as we accept that the mind is upset or angry or disappointed, actually it removes that intensity of that just acceptance. And the second thing it happens is that we disowns, or we are disassociating with mind itself. Okay, I know that you are angry. So as soon as we are saying that that the mind is angry, but I'm not angry, and I understand the mind is angry, we are actually taking away the rant of that mind, and then the situation is much better. This helped me, but not the always, because sometimes we don't even have time to process all those things, and suddenly the ball comes and we have to hit it. So that way, then we respond to the situation, or we react to the situation than responding to the situation. So, but accepting the situation, accepting that mind is upset, mind is angry, and then disowning it or distancing itself, that actually help us to some extent. Thank you, Bro. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vijay Kishore Prabhu. And we will conclude today's session. Vancha kalpatrubhesha kripa sindhubhesha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah ananta shloka ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you,
Prabhupada ji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.